Mygovan and Melanine. Today we have a unique topic in Tolkien's Legendarium, and if a reader picks up the Silmarillion not really understanding what they're picking up and starts to read it expecting it to read like a novel, they're going to firstly run into something called Ainulindale, which I remember trying to read as a rabid 13-year-old Tolkien fan and was immediately turned off, which I don't expect is an uncommon symptom of reading Ainulindale first. We know that Tolkien began writing Ainulindale at the end of the year 1919 through the spring of 1920, nearly 100 years ago, and he actually abandoned it for quite some time. His son Christopher Tolkien, who compiled and edited many of his works posthumously, including the Silmarillion itself, felt that the appropriate place for Ainulindale was at the beginning of the Silmarillion. So what is Ainulindale, and why does it turn so many readers off almost immediately? And if it doesn't turn them off, maybe they start to read it and then they start to get a little confused by all these different words they're seeing. It's written in the scriptural prose, which may not be easy to comprehend. And then they start to skim through, not really understanding what is going on, what it means, and then they turn to Valaquenta, and then they don't even know what's really going on there. The cast just rapidly increases in number, and after that they start to get into the stories of the Silmarillion in Quenta Silmarillion, which means history of the Silmarils. And don't even worry about that, we're going to get into that. Now, Ainulindale precedes all of that because it is Tolkien's creation myth of the world of Arda, which again Tolkien calls his planet, the world that everything takes place in, the setting. He calls that Arda. And this story, Ainulindale, is about God and the angels, if you will, that created Arda. And God is Eru, the One. He's the supreme God of the Ea, which is the universe. See, we're already getting into some words that Tolkien has in these elvish languages that we could simply just use in English. But I think if we do that, we don't really get the full depth of what Tolkien had created. So right away, we have Ainulindale, which is a Quenya word, compound of two Quenya words, which the first one is Ainu, which means Holy One, and Lindale, which means music of the Holy Ones, which if you open up the Silmarillion, you'll see Ainulindale, the music of the Ainur. Ainulindale, that's exactly what that means. Ainur is just the Holy Ones, Holy Spirits, angels. They're beings that Eru created. And they were created before aught else was made. That is, they were created before the universe itself, the universe Ea. Now, as we go on through the Silmarillion, I'm going to refer to Eru as Ilúvatar, which is what the elves call God. Ilúvatar means All-Father. Ilúvatar possesses something called the imperishable flame, the secret fire, which was the power of creation, and only Ilúvatar holds the secret fire, the imperishable flame. Now, the Ainur are instruments in Ilúvatar's creation of the universe. They were kindled with the flame imperishable. Ilúvatar presented to them a theme of music in which some sang alone, others started to sing together, but a lot of the Ainur just kind of sat on the sidelines and listened. But as time went on, their unison and their harmony grew until Ilúvatar called the entire host of the Ainur together and declared unto them a mighty theme, whose glory was beyond the comprehension of the Ainur, that they bowed before him. Ilúvatar then commands them to make a great music, allowing them to show forth their powers to decorate the theme. It is this music that is responsible for the creation of Ea, the universe. Ilúvatar finds no flaws in the music, for never since have the choirs of the Ainur made any music like unto this one. But as the music drew on, there was one of the Ainur who sought to increase the importance and power of his own part, and his name was Melkor. Out of the host of the Ainur, Melkor received the greatest gifts of power and knowledge. He even possessed a share of the knowledge and power of the rest of the Ainur. Ilúvatar himself said, "Mighty are the Ainur, and mightiest among them is Melkor." Despite his disposition being the most powerful of the Ainur, Melkor was still covetous and wanted to create things of his own. Thus he sought the imperishable flame, or the power to create. Therefore, Melkor caused a dissonance which achieved a unity of its own in the great chorus of the Ainur. And now that he has disrupted the chorus of the Ainur, the total of that disruption started to grow in a unity of itself, and it started to grow into a turbulent sound. And Ilúvatar started to see that a raging war was happening about his throne. Therefore he arose and raised both of his hands. His face was terrible to behold. He spoke, "Thou, Melkor, shalt see that no theme may be played that hath not its uttermost source in me, nor can any alter the music in my despite. For he that attempteth this shall prove but mine instrument in the devising of things more wonderful, which he himself hath not imagined." Ilúvatar is stating here that he is God, that he is omniscient, and that none of the Ainur, not even Melkor, can compose anything outside of Ilúvatar's domain, because his domain is endless. He is the only being in Ea who wields the imperishable flame, the secret fire, the power to create. Ilúvatar then takes the Ainur to the void to show them a vision, saying, "Behold your music." What they see amazes them. They see a globe suspended in the void, and they begin to watch its future unfold. But then they see something that they did not have a part in making: the children of Ilúvatar. For the children of Ilúvatar were conceived by him alone. Now who are the children of Ilúvatar? They are elves and men, the firstborn and the followers respectively. When the Ainur see the children of Ilúvatar, they are filled with love, learning more of Ilúvatar's wisdom. Even Melkor, who took part in the music, feigned even to himself at first that he desired to go thither and order all things for the good of the children of Ilúvatar. Melkor envied the gifts Ilúvatar promised his children. Hence, he wished himself to have subjects and servants of his own, and to be called Lord, and to be a master over other wills. While the Ainur were entranced, Ilúvatar withdrew the vision from them to their great unrest. He knew what they desired, that their love had grown for his children, and that they wished to dedicate themselves to such a creation as they were created themselves. Ilúvatar then said, "Ea, let things be." And he sent the imperishable flame into the void, into the heart of the world, and permitted those that would go down to Arda. Now some of the greatest and most fair of the Ainur took leave and descended into Arda in the beginning of time. These became known as the Valar, the powers of the world, who would become sealed to Arda so that they may give it life and it may give them life and meaning. When the Valar entered into the universe, they were at first at a loss, because nothing that they saw in that great vision, the globe or the future that had unfolded unto them, none of that was there. The music of the Ainur had only been the flowering of thought, and the vision was simply a foreshadow. Thus the Ainur were tasked to achieve the vision that they had seen. Innumerable ages passed, and were forgotten in the deeps of time, until at last the world was made, called Arda. Now, there's 3 Ainur that we are introduced to here. The 3 are Manwë, Aule, and Ulmo. And these 3 were chief instruments in the work done in Arda, in the world. Although Melkor was present with them in the beginning, he meddled in all that was done and everything that they did. In the world's infancy, Melkor said to the other Valar, "This shall be my kingdom, and I name it unto myself." Manwë then called upon other spirits, many of them, both greater and lesser, to aid in the progression of the world, fearing that Melkor would crush their efforts forever in the ordering of the earth, and took on the form and shape of the Children of Ilúvatar, the beings that they saw in their vision, the elves and the men. They were beautiful, blissful beings, glorious to behold. And when Melkor saw them, he became envious and took on a form unto himself. But because of his hatred and the rage within him, his form was dark and his form was terrible. Listen to how Tolkien describes Melkor when he takes on this body. "The light of the eyes of Melkor was like a flame that withers with heat and pierces with a deadly cold. As the Valar labored, so too did Melkor to destroy whatever they would make. He would level their mountains, he would raise their valleys, and he would spill their oceans." And this is where Tolkien ends Ainulindale. He says this is how the first battle over the dominion of Arda began. And he says that the Valar persisted, slowly but surely preparing the world for the coming of the firstborn, the elves. It's interesting to me that Tolkien, with the mind that he has, chooses music as the arbiter of creation. Perhaps Tolkien saw that music may be the only true thing in our world that creates. Maybe he thought that the imperishable flame was actually music. Music unifies humanity, washes away our differences, leaving only our commonalities.